I'm not a racist, preach the teacher. You still they never had this. Number one, them wanna run about the gun. I wasn't licensed to have one. The minute they see me, fear me. I'm the epitome, a public enemy. Use, abuse, without screws. I refuse to blow fuse. They even had it on the news. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Back when I wrote y'all, yes.
Are you following any of this Caitlin Clark WNBA stuff, Jay? Are you involved?
Yes, and let me just say that I just started in last couple of years watching the NW. Is the N? Well, I mean, say it
it's
right.
NWA.
Am I saying it right?
That's another group. Yeah, that's a group.
NW. This girl can really play. She can play. She can play. I don't understand the flack she got when she first came in. They were knocking her hard, but she kept to her. She kept to her senses and kept the game going. And that basketball league, I'd rather watch them than the men. I would any day. Okay. They play over there. They really do. Yeah.
All right. You want me to explain to you what happened? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what happened was Angel Reese. What happened? So what happened was the previous year before this one, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were in the semifinals of the NCAAs. They were in college. And Angel Reese said, "You can't see me," with the hand gesture. Mm-hmm. And then she went on to beat Caitlin Clark, right? And that became like, oh, she's being a bully or whatever. But Caitlin Clark lost that year. And then they had a rematch this year. And then Caitlin Clark won. Angel Reese hurt her ankle, but then lost to Dawn Staley in the finals. And then she got drafted in the WNBA. But what it turned out to be is like, remember when Joe Louis fought Max Smelling, who was a German? Mm-hmm. You don't remember? Okay.
Yeah.
But, it was racial at the same time as, you know what I'm saying? It was like this undertow of racism with the German versus the Joe Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Or Muhammad Ali and Jerry Cooney, or Jerry Quarry. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always this kind of undertow. So Caitlin Clark's fans are like, think of them as Trumpers who feel like there's an Aryan supremacy in the body of Caitlin Clark. And it created this, she's great. They've had white players before, but there was a certain energy with the people following her in this current Trump climate that then carried itself into the WNBA. Yesterday, we played a clip from Alyssa Thomas talking about how racism has reared its ugly head in the WNBA. Brittany Griner, you can Google search this, has been talking about how ugly and the name calling that the players on both sides, so you're because they're calling them the N-word and stuff and all kind of horrible names. They've never had this before. And my contention is, if your fans are bringing ugliness to the league, you have to say something. And you can't be passive about it. You got to be strong with it. Like, this doesn't represent me. Stop doing that. It's bringing ugliness into the league, but it speaks to a certain energy that is in this country right now.
In the country, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And we know where that energy came from. And I'm with you on this, Karen, because when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, when it was just about the game. That's all it was. I mean, I don't think race, not like it is today.
There was a little bit. Boston was known for being super racist. And I know as a young person.
Boston is a rough town. It really is. It really is. I've done comedy in that town. It is a rough town, but not to the extent that it is now with the racism and the name calling. And it's just, it wasn't like that back in the day. I mean, if it was, we didn't hear about it as much as you hear about it today. You just, I see what you see. It is elevated. And I think this all goes back to Trump. That's where it started. Yeah.
But if we're being honest, I feel like we just don't have memory, because Oscar Robertson was talking with Matt Barnes a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about playing, because if you remember when Bill Russell brought championships to Boston as a player and as a coach, I think he's the first player coach to win an NBA title. They broke into his home, scrawled the N-word on his wall, and feces, took a dump in his bed. And he was in your town. Winning championships. Broken his house. Well, Oscar Robertson was talking about when he was playing how the KKK sent him a telegram. I'm going to play that clip first, Miz, and then we'll get back to Caitlin Clark.
1959, the KKK sent you a telegram before a game.
Oh, God.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. We were going to play the Dixie Classics. I knew nothing about the Dixie Classics. So I get a telegram that says, if you go out and play, they're going to shoot me. So I gave it to the coach. Later on that day, I get a knock on the door. Here's a white kid from Alabama, some Alabama fraternity, who had to come and get an autograph from me. What do you think I did? I autographed it for him.
Of course, we always the bigger people.
I never will forget that as long as I live. I mean, to be honest, man, I was born in Tennessee. I never really thought that much about the Klan to begin with, man, because where I lived, we had a lot of relatives. Although the whites and blacks were separate, there was no going out and hanging somebody and nothing being done about it.
Right.
So they protected themselves, but I never thought that much about it. Guys that threatened me. I mean, that wasn't the only time I was threatened, by the way. I must tell you, but it didn't bother me. I mean, I didn't think anything about being shot. I just didn't think they were going to do it.
The Dixie Classic. Can you imagine playing in a basketball tournament and the Klan sending you a telegram? If you play in this, we're going to kill you. It's basketball, right? Hank Aaron was getting death threats for beating Babe Ruth's record. Like, we were going to kill you at home plate if you hit this home run.
If you break the record.
Can you imagine like the kind of stress these athletes, and now we're seeing another wave of this because of the climate in the country. Like it should never rear up. But I think, the white athletes who have these kind of fans should definitely speak out more. And my biggest criticism of Caitlin Clark is not on the court. I feel like she hasn't done enough. And even in this interview, when she was asked about it, yeah, she's being forced to say something because they're asking her questions. But this should be grab the mic and say, hey, the ugliness that is being spewed in these new fans, this is not who we are. And that should be said so strongly that it shuts it down. But she was asked recently, because there's been a lot of WNBA players talking about being called out of their names, something they've never seen in 12 years playing. And it's the new fans that have come in. So play the clip, Smith.
Caitlin, when your head coach came out with a statement today saying she announces all the racism that some people have felt in this league, players, trolls online, all those things, as one of the biggest stars in this league, what are your thoughts on the things not only your teammates had to endure, but just the entire league? And obviously, you've spoken on this before, but just now that your coach and your GM are talking about it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization, the WNBA. But there are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing that we can do, because there are so many great players, there's so many great teams, there are so many positive storylines that can be written and celebrated. And for me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. I grew up wanting to be like them. So I think continuing to uplift and, represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do.
I see what you're saying, Karen. I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
speak to your base.
Yeah, speak directly to them. No,
speak directly to your base.
Because you brought them. You brought those knuckle draggers in, so you got to gather them up. That's your responsibility. Angel Reese, her rival, who's not really her rival because it's basketball. She posted this on Twitter. She had 7 million views at the time that I put this on my script. She said, for the past 2 years, the media has benefited from my pain and me being villainized to create a narrative. They allowed this. This has been beneficial to them. I sometimes share my experiences of things that have happened to me, but I've also allowed this to happen to me for far too long. And now other players in this league are dealing with and experiencing the same thing. This isn't okay at all. Anything beyond criticism about playing the game we love is wrong. And I'm sorry to all the players that have continued to experience the same things that I have. So she's, talking about that. And she said, I don't want an apology, nor do I think this will ever stop, but something has to change. And I think it's Caitlin Clark's responsibility to say something directly to these people that are saying horrible things to the players on the court. So that's what I feel.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.